Wiki. Wait, that's my job. Oh my God. Well, welcome to another episode of the Holistic Life Podcast. Jay just did the crazy intro today, which is amazing. So I'm Jenny.
Don't get used to it. I'm Jay.
And we're here with an amazing guest, Mike. And we're really excited because, man, Mike is one of the coolest people that we've met. And we love how unique he is and how unique he lives his life. And, really, Mike is a jack of all trades, a master of none. He's a horticulturist, treasure hunter, metal detectorist. I think I said that right. Metal detectorist, investor, silversmith, adventurer, entrepreneur, beekeeper. I mean, I'm kind of like, is there anything you don't do? So welcome to the show, Mike. And, look, we decided on this one, instead of doing the whole bio thing, we're like, how about Mike just share a bit about welcome to the show and share a bit about who you are and what led you to this point today. How come you have all these cool titles?
Sweet. Well, thanks for having me. And so let's see, where did it start? As a little kid, I was 10 months old. I jumped out of my crib. Maybe that's what knocked a couple screws loose to set me on my journey. Then after that, I grew up with a dad that was a very flexible with his schedule. He was selling actually concrete culvert, and he would just make sales calls whenever he wanted and take me with him and finish the day early. And we'd go hiking and swimming in the pool and barbecuing, during weekdays when everybody was at work, he'd be home and we'd be having a good time. And that was the dad that worked to live. So then fast forward, and he passed away, and my mom married my dad now, which is my stepdad. And he was more of, put his head down, go to work, no creativity, gone from, 6 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, provided well for the family. But it was the exact opposite, and I was 5 years old then. So I was exposed to that. Actually, sorry, 7, my bad. Father passed away at 5, new dad at 7. So that's kind of was my mindset for, go to college, get a job, put your head down, make money, and not really anything else. So, but as a kid, I would, kind of have these creative things where I would ride my bike around in the mornings and pick through people's garbage, and had the nicest stereo system in the neighborhood, and it was all from people's garbage. I found the bicycle I still own, a beautiful mountain bike, when I was 10 years old, going to a garage sale. Before school. It was a $200 mountain bike that was worth $2,000, and the lady was selling it. And I begged my mom for my birthday and for Christmas if I could get it. And all my friends were like, "Oh my God, you got the nicest bike ever!" And they had paid more for their bikes than mine, but I got mine at the garage sale. So that was kind of like my first come up on something cool, a treasure find. And then I went to college, got a degree in finance. And that's when I started to realize, maybe just getting the job and going to work every day wasn't my thing. And so I was working in a garden shop, and I actually was part-time, and I liked it. So I ended up getting pretty much full-time. Did that for 14 years.
Wow.
And kind of during that time, went from, having no money to investing in silver and a house and being a landlord and another house. And then, starting really hard on the gardening and investing in myself, buying fruit trees and investing in soil even and healthy food. And there was a point in my life I had really bad anxiety and panic attacks. And, that was kind of due to the college thing and figuring myself out there, and I had this expectation, oh, wow, my parents, they want me to be a career person and be able to tell their friends, oh, my son's an investment banker or something, not that he works at the same retail garden store that he's worked at before college, during college. So that was kind of, I had to process all that. And I did what I loved, and never missed a single day of work, never called in sick a single day, made the owner many, many millions of dollars. And after 14 years, and I was let go with no notice at the end of the day. Hey, Mike, it's either, I feed my son, I'm $20,000 in the hole already, or I let you go. And then at the same time, he turned around and offered to sell me the business in the same phone call for $100,000. He said, I'll walk away right now. You can have everything for $100,000. And I got a little upset and, told him immediately, no way. And I was like, oh, I'm going to open a store up on my own, and I'm going to put him out of business. And I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I love plants and to focus more on that. And I got a job 2 days later as a bee removal expert per se, removing bees and keeping them alive. That lasted about a month and slowed down. And then I was on my own and I started making my way. And so now I'm an eBay reseller, Etsy seller, a silversmith, and a treasure hunter. And all those things combined end up making an income that works. And I have fun and it's a flexible schedule. And so there's my story. Sorry, it took a little bit.
No,
that was captivating.
That was great and awesome all at once.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even in that story, you've captured what a lot of people are living, with the exception of going out and doing it, right? They're still stuck at the job, you know. They're still, oh, my parents say I have to make something of myself, you know. I get let go from this one, let me go find another place to make something of myself. And instead of being exposed at a very young age, because I think that's like super important too. Maybe falling out of the crib too, who knows. We're not gonna, you know, we're gonna say more of your dad exposing you to a lifestyle earlier on that shows you, yes, all these things are possible, and you can still have fun and still have a meaningful life and still be successful.
Yep.
So along your journey, I mean, we've had conversations outside of this podcast where I'm just like, I love hearing about your story because like us, you live a very unconventional lifestyle, you know, and you are like willing to just go do what you want. Like we met you through kayaking, through, you know, getting on paddle boards and getting out on the water in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
Like, nobody ever wants to meet now, you know, they're all working. We were just chatting and then you're like for you, you've got certain things. You're like, okay, you know, once I do this, then I'm going to go play, or I'm going to play, then I'm going to do this. Was there ever a point in your experience where you felt like you had limitations in your mindset, or have you always had like an unlimited way of looking at things?
Oh, no. I was very rigid. You know, there was always a discipline there to where, like, you know, I'd come home from school and immediately get my homework done so that I knew I had the rest of the night after that to go as long as I wanted and I didn't have to worry, like unlimited. Versus, you know, a lot of my friends would come home, play for 2 hours, you know, and then end up doing homework for however long it took, not, you know, and so, you know, I've always had that discipline kind of. Yeah, but I was very limited, very limited. I mean, I drove a $1,200 car. I spent $0, like $0 for a long time. But I did that though to then become unlimited, you know, because if you're, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and you hate your job and it ends, then what are you going to do? I mean, you're probably going to have to get another job you hate, unfortunately, because you don't have time to even become creative because you're under the stress, you know, of losing the other job and your creativity is not firing there. So you're just probably going to do whatever, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I would do laundry instead of hanging out with friends. You know, Friday night was laundry night. It wasn't like hang out with friends night. They'd give me a hard time. Like, what the hell? You can do laundry whenever you want. Go have fun. Throw your load of laundry in while you're cooking dinner and taking a shower. Put it in when you're, you know, in the dryer when you're taking a poop. And then, you know, sooner or later, you get it done when you don't need to schedule laundry, you know? And I mean, I was so rigid, though, that no, sorry, guys, you know, you're at the beach having a great night. I'm going to do laundry. You know? And, yeah, there was a shift there, and I'm not exactly sure when. I did start an e-waste business. I did, you know, start really going to a lot of garage sales and coming up on some really good scores even. I highly recommend that to people. If you feel very limited, it's the only way you can pry into somebody's private life. Like, think about that somebody's opening up their home and their garage and their stuff, you know, and you can even ask for things. If you don't see it there, ask them, you know, hey, do you want to sell this, you know? But like, so I came across things like $15 for some sterling silver flatware, and I didn't ask for anything. I walk up to the garage sale, it's $15, I buy it, and it's worth $3,000. You know, so when I'm kind of living real budgeted and paycheck to paycheck and have these plans for my money and feel like, oh my God, I just worked, you know, 2 hours for $28, making $14 an hour or something. To spend $28 to invest in something was really hard. You know, so like that $3,000, I would use that to then take more risk, because I was very not risk averse, you know, like, or very risk averse, whatever you would.
Right.
Yeah, and so that helped me kind of to be less rigid because I'm like, okay, now I can take some risk, and then the risk would pay off, and then, you know, I don't know what changed that laundry mindset though, you know. Maybe some people passing away and, you know, losing good friends and you know, people moving away and realizing that, you know, quality time and those things. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and another thing in your story that you shared was how you had gone into finance and
Right.
this whole thing of like, okay, you got bored with that, but then, dad being like, okay, my son's a finance investor, banker, whatever, like all those titles. Like, what was it like for you to leave? Was that tough to leave and make that shift? Or like what led up to that point in order for you to go in a different direction?
Yeah. Well, I always like I asked for the local bank stock for my first communion or confirmation, sorry.
Hmm.
As my present, I wanted 10 shares in the local bank. So I was always like into finance in the, passionate part. So when I got to college or wanted to go to college and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, I'm like, well, finance, because I
Hmm.
like it. And then I realized, that wasn't the direction I wanted to go. But I still use finance to this day, and I feel it's a very important tool. I'm an investor in stocks and metals. And actually, when I lost that job of 14 years, I had almost $0 to my name in liquid assets. I had invested it all in gold, silver, and stocks because I had had the job for 14 years, and I knew my paycheck every week. And I'm like, well, yeah. So I was fully invested, but that was a bad thing at the time and an amazing thing.
Hmm.
Um, and so that decision to not go the finance route, I actually had some people come in to the classes I was in and kind of talk about their jobs and seemed just very stressful. And I was already kind of a stressful, anxious,
Hmm.
panic attacky person. And I thought, I don't want a job like this. And then I can't sit at a desk either, like I'm an adventurer. So
Right.
how's that going to work? So working at the garden store, I was on my feet all day, playing with plants, helping people, pulling orders and unloading trucks. And, it was great for that, keeping active, the bee removal thing, and I've always done that way. So I think that was kind of the deciding factor too, is that I can't sit at a desk no matter how much money. And I've had friends over the years even give me a hard time. Why don't you be, an investment banker, and you're gonna make hundreds of $1,000s a year, and then you can just do whatever you want for the rest of your life. And it's like, well, how much would you get paid to go to jail?
Hmm.
You know, how much would you get paid to get locked up? Because you're giving your freedom away, and there's a price that
Wow.
$1,000,000 maybe, I mean, if I can make $1,000,000 a year guaranteed, maybe, sold my soul for a couple of years and get it over with.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, speak a little bit more into that because I feel like, even myself in my journey, I've chased in some ways a lot of money. I mean, I had a successful sales career making six figures very early on. And so making that jump or doing something, here, let me say it this way, doing something you authentically like, something that lights you up, something that's joyful. I'll tell you that that would have been a really tough pill for me to swallow, 5, 6, 7 years ago of going from six-figure sales into doing like what you're saying about being active and pulling orders and being around plants. Like I'm like, I would love something like that. But
right,
I would have never taken that step because I wanted the title, I wanted the money. So like what do you feel like for you, like I know it's so important to you to really like enjoy what you're doing. So explain a little bit or like go in a little more depth of what it's like to live this alternative lifestyle and still like be happy without having like what your friends are like, oh man, go make millions of dollars and sell your soul and go to
right,
jail,
right.
you know?
Um, Well, here's a thought. I balanced my checkbook when I had that job. I
Mm-hmm.
lived this limited mindset. Now I write down the amount of the check and what number it was, and that's it. No balancing it. I don't even look at my bank accounts. It just all works.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're doing what you love and it works, and it's a different mindset, and the money's gonna come if you just keep, your head down and your feet on the ground and keep doing it. Um, yeah.
That's powerful right there. I don't know if you just realized like that's the lesson I'm learning right now.
And it's simplicity.
Yeah, that is
Like,
the lesson that I am literally learning right now because I'm unwinding like the whole corporate make the money and have have the titles and have the like prestige of having I run a $15 million book of business, like the things that go into your identity and your ego. Um, so like I would love you to like talk a little bit more about like I trust that it's all going to happen. Like, was
Right.
that something instilled by your dad when you were young? Like, where did you learn that, or how did you really come to
Right, right. I don't know. Maybe that comes with that finance and investor mindset, because you can't invest $1 today and usually make $1 today. You have to have some faith that it's going to work out,
Mm,
and I think that's a lot of. And then if you look at everything in life, relationships and money and that as investments, that and then when you break things down on a low level too, like I'm really big on, well, how about saving money instead of making money? you know,
Mhm.
because that's powerful. And like, you know, take your tax rate, take the dollar you earn minus the taxes out, and now go buy something and pay sales tax on it. You know, so now what if you can grow that, or what if you can produce it yourself? You know, and then a lot of people feel like they're powerless, you know. So make kombucha. It's going to be powerful when you eat that the first time, drink it the first time, and it's going to be good for your body. Grow a garden, you know. So all these things actually are both like an investment that's an amazing one. Like you can plant the seed today and it grows a bell pepper and you're going to get 80 seeds inside of one bell pepper. You just got 80 times return on your investment. Now you got the bell pepper as money. You got
Right.
the plant to grow more, you know, so like, and then you're outside in the sun and it's going to add to that amazing mindset. You're eating fresh foods. So find what you love and invest in it, you know, and just go hard and invest in it. Even if it's not the food, even if it's dogs, you know, like you're going to then get into dogs and have a show dog and you're going to tour the country showing your dog and making money or whatever, you know, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
This is this concept. It might be um mind blowing for a lot of people watching or listening, you know, especially for me and you, Mike, who kind of like play in this reality, and Jen, who is stepping into it. It's kind of like, you know, people, but I'm so used to this, right?
Right.
And it's like, but if you just like listen and think about, and it's always interesting around holiday time, like this whole consumerism. I don't know if that's a word. If it is, I just
Mhm.
made it up.
Oh, it
Like
is.
Mhm.
of the work of the world. You know what I'm saying? Even if you think about like Black Friday sales, people that think they're getting sales, all these companies are doing are unloading the overstocked inventory that they couldn't get rid of. They jack up their prices just to say that they lowered them so people think they get a deal. And
Mm.
it's like you could be using this money, like you said, investing in something else. Something is
Mm.
there's a dude we watch on Instagram. I forget his name, but he's like, you know, after you're done with your pomegranate, don't throw away the peel.
Right.
Like bake it and then use it
Yeah.
to use
Creative
Right.
explained.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
of face cream or
Yep.
three other things you could do. And it's like,
Mm.
holy shit, you
Yep.
just saved me $200 a month in facial products.
Right.
And
You know
now
what I call that? Stacking functions, you know, and everything in your life should have a stacked function. Or I mean, not everything, but try to, you know, like brew the coffee in the morning, use it as compost or fertilizer, you know, like roast the coffee, you know, yeah, those stacked functions, just like you said, the pomegranate peel, you know, the juice, the seed.
Mhm.
That's
and
money right there. That's money right there.
older cultures used pomegranates to dye their robes and cloth.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've gotten so away from living and reusing and like making the most of the things in our life. Like that guy on Instagram, his Instagram is creative explained. I don't know his name, but he's like real like animated and stuff in all of his videos. Have you seen him before?
No.
No,
Oh, I haven't.
he's like take a pomegranate, you know, it's like real like, and he's like, all right, eat the pomegranate, and I'll take the like take the casing of it. He's like, don't throw it away, put it in the oven, bake it till it's crispy, put it in your food processor, make it a powder, put it in a tea bag. Now you have a tea, or like you said, mix it with some water and put it on your face for. And it's like I've learned so much just from watching his stuff because like I used to just throw away the pineapple things. I make pineapple tea with it, and you know, like you said, using coffee for compost. But those are ways that like you've like you said, I think there's something really powerful about like making your own food or reusing things, or like there's something really powerful there. Something really powerful there. Yet like what do you think that is? Like why do we crave that in a way, but yet we don't search it unless we know, like from this podcast, maybe you are like, oh wow, let me go look into this now.
I think it's that like feeling of comfort, and then you know, comfort, and people I think feel like they don't have a lot of control over their life. And then
Mhm.
you do that, you know, and I don't know who I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. There's you know, everybody ticks differently.
You know, like a little side thing with this is I noticed this. We're about 5 days or 6 days in a plant-based experiment that we're doing. And I've noticed that we have less trash. And that makes me feel really good that we have less trash because since we're traveling and we stay at these furnished or Airbnbs and we're here longer, we're usually taking the trash out to the curb or whatever in the big trash can. And I know in the last place, it was like 2 bags or 2.5 bags. And this time we only had 1 bag out there. And I was like, huh, that's really interesting. I'm excited to see like how it continues to unfold. But like, you just feel, I don't know, like I just, how can we make less of an impact on the environment? And like you said, I don't think people realize that bell peppers have seeds in them that you could then plant and grow.
A lot of things have seeds
Or whatever. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
not
Like,
even the investment of that though, so
yeah.
like how can you get 100% return on an investment in like a typical, an I bond right now is 9%, a year you're getting 9%. Where can you get in 3 months 100% return? Plus I bond isn't going to make you feel good. It doesn't give you sunlight. It doesn't give you a sense of like growing your future. That's what I say about like plants and things. And then also, how many people that watch your podcast have a house? It's a liability until you rent it or sell it. They're paying property taxes. They pay to poison their yard and their neighbor's yards and their pets and their kids, when they can turn their yard into a place to grow food, and they're going to derive a return on their investment while they're still living in the home, and it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so here's then what potentially comes up, right? But Mike, I'm busy. But Mike, I don't know how to do a garden. But Mike, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have a green thumb. Like all of those typical, like modern, like I'm too busy for a garden. I don't have time for that.
You can hire people.
Yeah, that too, and if I feel people love to complain and justify where they are when there's obvious solutions. Like,
well, they may not be obvious to people though.
I feel they are obvious though.
Okay.
Well, you don't want it bad enough or something if you're talking. I mean, it's that 5-second rule. You're talking yourself out of it.
Exactly. Like, the economy is bad. Gas is going up. Food is going up. Okay, plant your own garden. You've just saved X amount of dollars in buying groceries. Right. And you're eating healthier. You know what's going into your food. You're showing your kids how to live off the land and be healthier. You're probably going to have a stronger immune system. Yep. So you're taking out medical costs in the future. You're making that investment in yourself by saying like, now, no, the economy is no longer a problem.
It's basically going from a laundry mindset to a unlimited mindset,
Right.
That's really, it's like that's gonna be your new coin term. Like, get out of the laundry mindset. You should write a book on that. Ditch your laundry mindset. Yeah, but okay, so let's talk a little bit about, like, you shared with us last time one of your visions about what you're like, what part of the reason why you grow all the food that you do, and one of the things that you want to do, and why you grow, all the food. So will you share a little bit more about that?
Well, I grow a ton of food because I want to share it with people. I mean, I donate to food pantries and I put it at the curb and I put plants at the curb, and and I want to have a food forest one day that produces just a ton of food. I just got done helping build a food forest on 52 acres. Literally a couple $100,000 investment just in plants alone. And then I built a tiny house for them. And that's what they're doing, is just growing a massive abundance of food. It could probably feed the whole city that they have that made in. It's just, it's kind of private. Nobody really knows about it. So yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to, grow food to heal people, heal the world, have a regenerative farm. Yeah.
What about, okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the treasure hunting. I've understand it a little bit more now. I feel like now that I've like opened my mindset in general to more things, because I was programmed to think certain things were kind of like dirty, or you don't get into this or that, or ew, garage sale, we don't buy from there. Like some of those things that I grew up around, like I am just leaving all that behind because it's just such a laundry mindset. Like it doesn't serve you, because there's a lot of really cool things to find. Right. So share a little bit more about what it's like to be a treasure hunter and like how you got into that.
And so here's the thing too. I think treasure is different for everybody. I mean, somebody might collect insects, and they go out on a nature walk and they find dead cicadas and they pin them up in a frame, and there you go. That's treasure. It's what you like. Like I go out fossil hunting and rock hounding, and there may not be a ton of value there, but there kind of is. And if you do things right, you can create value. So take those cicadas and put them in some resin and make some cool crystals, with a mushroom inside or something, sell them on Etsy, get a metal detector, it's that living unlimited, like do that. The metal detector, I think that's the greatest chance. And some people buy one, they use it one time and they don't find a diamond ring and they set it away, but it's a chance, once again, like the garage sale. Who opens their house up to you, lets you come pick through their stuff. You can ask them questions. These are all ways, I think, you need to get more into the unlimited. So like, here's one I've been really hung up on lately, and this might be getting a little off topic, but sorry, is the lottery. And I've read tons of finance books, and it says, 90% of people that play the lottery are broke within 3 years and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? That's the laundry mindset, I really think. And it's not to be addicted to the lottery, and it's to have this look at it. The lottery is, once again, a chance into the unlimited. Buy one ticket a week and then think it's so real. You're not going to live your life saying, when I win the lottery, I'm going to get my land. No, you need to be doing things elsewhere to get your land. And if you win the lottery, you just got it quicker and you got your awesome tractor in your house or whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to start playing the lottery, $1 a week. I mean, what do we waste $1 on? A lot of things that you're very limited. Booze, coffee, cigarettes, things that don't serve you. So why not take $1 so that's the mindset I think that's important. With treasure hunting, live the unlimited. It is a chance into the unlimited, no matter what you do. And there's so many facets to it, from thrifting to garage sailing to estate sailing to metal detecting to fossil hunting to, I mean, anything. Even meeting people, connections can be treasure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I mean, there's just once again, it's an amazing way that you never know what you're going to find. You could find $1 million painting for $10, and that could change your life. And if not, then you're not having fun doing it. Don't do it. But like, if you like to go to thrift stores, or you can find some way to find fun, doing that, find fun and live unlimited. So that's my biggest.
Yeah, I love that. So when you got into treasure hunting, you started doing this with this unlimited mindset. Like, how do you know? You look and you know that $10 painting is $1 million, or that silver is. Like, how did you then know those things?
That's the hard one. So I do have a formula, so that I'm not wasting my time, and I mess up, and that's when I learn the most. So my goal is to make 10 times my money with a $40 minimum selling price. So basically, I'm going to buy a $44 item and sell it for 40. A $2 item I don't try to do, because it's only going to sell for 20. And if that happens and it's not quite as good, then I just sold, the $4 item for $8, and I don't make a lot of money. I learned never to do that again. But when it works, you remember that and you repeat it. And nowadays there's literally so many YouTubers and stuff that you could be doing housework and put Bolo buddies. The lady did a thing on me and featured me, and you could probably go on there and look me up, Mike Made Bolo buddies, and she does a feature, and it's all about the scores on my eBay store and where they came from. And but you can watch those people all day long, and they're going to tell you what to find. There's also just things like anything vintage. They don't make that anymore, so it's one of a kind. So go for vintage stuff. The metal detecting, I mean, I had a dream one day and asked my mom a question about a beach, and it wasn't anywhere I'd ever been. And I got in my truck, I drove 2 hours, turned my metal detector on, slid down the sand dunes after a winter storm, and there was a gold charm underneath it. Walked down the beach, there was a gold ring. Walked down the beach, another gold ring, a silver ring. I'm having this amazing day. I'm like, all right, time to leave. 30 more minutes. I find a $5,000 wedding band with 52 diamonds on it. And I'm like, I got to go back. And I go back the next day, and I find a shipwreck. And that shipwreck has $200 million on it, Yeah, and I've been back 20 times, and you wouldn't know there's a shipwreck there. You might find a little piece here and there. So once again, you wouldn't know if you don't go. You can't win the lotto if you don't play, So go to the garage sale, go to the estate sales, go to the thrift store.
So what I'm hearing, Mike, is stop limiting yourself.
Exactly.
Get out of the fucking box.
And out of your way. And I get in my own way all the time still, still. So, hey, but try to be unlimited, because if one of them works, then you're going to see it. And then you just keep doing it. Even if you do get in your own way a little bit.
What are some examples, you with such like an unlimited mindset, that you would get in your way now? And then like, how do you quickly get out of the way?
Well, like, here's a great example. I have a whole desk full of silver jewelry that needs to go on my Etsy store. It's covered in it. And I could be listing that, when I'm sitting around watching YouTube videos about something that's not important, yeah, things like that. I had the ability to work way harder, make more money, but it's that balance, yeah, selling your soul. How much do you want to sell it for? But it's there. That's a cool thing too, is having the option, but it is kind of a limiting or getting in your own way kind of thing. I mean, why don't I hire somebody? You know, what's the fear there? You know, oh, I don't want to pay, you know, taxes and workers' comp and, you know, get an accountant. I mean, I'm not even an LLC or anything, like, because I'm not like working on people's yards or anything. I'm a treasure hunter, you know. And so I'm just a sole proprietor, you know, and it's weird. It's like I'm resistant to that. Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, where I get my own way too. Why not? It's what, you know, designate my home office as my office and an asset, and you know, it's not a hard process. Yeah, so there's things like that. But once again, you know, when I was working that job for 14 years, and I'd always tell myself, I need a business, I need to start a business, and they always had to be so big that I would never do it. You know, it was limiting right there. Oh, I need employees, and I need to have this grand idea, you know, and I need a building, and you know, how am I going to afford all this? No, like, you got a garage, you got an apartment, figure it out. Do cell phone repair. You know, it takes up no space. Start making jewelry repair, watch repair. You know, I mean, anything that you can do these things that, you know, and you're on your own. And so that's where I got into the electronics recycling. You know, I could do it on my own. I could do it at my house. Yeah, you know, and then one thing kind of leads to another.
So speaking of all this, you brought up work-life balance. So share a little bit about what work-life balance means to you, what it looks like to you. I'd love to hear about that.
So you still got to be disciplined. You know, I always say though, experiences and people over things. So, you know, my garage sale and estate sale days are basically Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And definitely Friday and Saturday, I'm up at, you know, and out the door at 7:30. And I go until I feel just it's not there anymore. Usually noon, you know. And so Friday, Saturday, that's kind of my days. But I'm willing, if there's ever something going on those days, it's you know, with people or experiences, I will not go to garage sales or estate sales, you know, and I'll do that instead. The Thursday is a flexible day. So that's kind of my Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. I love to play during the week because all the weekend warriors are out on the weekend. So I usually just cash out my, you know, Saturdays and Sundays and do some Etsy work or something. Do stuff around the house. Yeah, and then, you know, today was Monday, and I, you know, woke up. Hey, here's a good one. I'm a dude. I go to a therapist, and it's not because I take medicine or have problems. It's great to talk to people. Great to bounce ideas off them. Great to question yourself and not beat yourself up. So that's how I started the morning. Went there, you know, went metal detecting, went on a hike, you know, and now I'm here with you all. And then after, gonna make some dinner, you know, and that's kind of a normal day. And I have a wall calendar. I don't have anything in my phone. You know, I write my things I have to do on my wall calendar. You know, I'm in a lot of clubs. I really enjoy that. I think that's another way to live unlimited. You want to grow plants, you can get fruit tree, you know, like find a club. There's clubs that match every passion you got. And you're going to meet people that, once again, you know, and if you're working that dead end job, look for the guy driving the Porsche, ask him what he does, you know. You never know, you might get offered a job, you know, you might be working in the produce department and now somebody really likes you, sees you every week, and ask them what they do. And so, but sorry, that's off topic.
No, it's totally not, because I'm one of my gifts is like taking what people say and just like reeling it in and putting it back together. And with all that, what I heard was there's all these people who have the strategies, you know what I'm saying? Make 6 figures in 6 months. How to blow up your Instagram page, how to fabulize your Facebook, all these things, right? And what you just said was so freaking simple. You know, and it's like, if you want to do something, if you want to change your life, you don't need a strategy. Just get out there and start by asking a question or doing something, or, you know what I'm saying? There's always something you could be doing. And I feel as a society too, we're looking for that quick fix. We're looking for that boop, 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 start microwave button. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you're not gonna you're okay, yes, you can make the money, but at the cost of what? You can have the grand business, but at the cost of what? Tap into who you are, who you really want to be, and don't overcomplicate it. Right. It's super simple.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and it's cool because yeah, this is our podcast and we teach a lot of things and we talk about a lot of things, but I'm learning just from being in a conversation with you. because that's the power of being around people who are expansive thinkers, right? Who think differently, who have, especially, God, Mike, everything you do is so different than everything we do as far as like your trades and where you hang out and what you do. And I love it because I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff I love to do. And I've been stuck sometimes looking for the strategy or how do I get this out there? How do I get that out there? And it's like, no, like take your passions, go hang out with those people. And you never know what that's going to then open up. Because then, like you said, you're leading with experiences and people.
Yeah.
And then everything else is like icing on the cake.
Right.
Like you said, you put your head down and you just keep doing, but the things that you are doing are things that you enjoy. So putting your head down and doing them aren't like this big grind or hustle or whatever.
No. Right.
It's just what you love to do. Period. End of story. I mean, we just had a chat today that's on a podcast episode that's going to come out next month in January, talking about like the same thing when it comes to movement, moving your body and working out, you know, like finding things that you enjoy doing so you actually want to do it and you're not like in the gym or running on the treadmill or whatever, something you hate.
Right. People always say like, you're in great shape. What do you do? I'm like, I garden, I metal detect, I paddleboard, you know, like I've never been in a gym, you know, I just got a physical and it was almost like perfect, you know, and like I eat almost all, you know, plant-based and yeah, and just live that active lifestyle, but your mind too. I mean, that is, I got to give a ton of credit to that. We can do anything we want, but if your mind's not right, you know, and you can even do whatever you want if your mind's right. Really, my mom has a couple that they're friends with. They're 95 years old. They eat hot dogs and horrible food still, ice cream, but they go out dancing every weekend, you know, and they go out socializing with their friends, and that over trumps, you know, that unhealthy food they're eating, because literally your body makes what 2,000 plus chemicals, and you know, you can have low cholesterol if you're feeling good, you know, you can have high cholesterol if you're feeling bad or eating bad, you know, so it's like, yeah. So that
Well, they're
mindset.
not living a life filled with stress either.
Right. Oh,
right. Like you could still have those experiences, but if you're spending, like you said, you're in jail with something that you don't like, or you're over giving in a career or profession.
Yep.
You know, even if you do enjoy it, if you're over giving, there's no room for creativity. There's no room for you to be able to then do what we're talking about. So these are definitely some good things to think about, because with the timing of this, I mean, honestly, just like anything else, this can be applied to any time of the year, but with the timing of this being released, this is like at the end of the year, you know, as people are getting ready to like, okay, you know, after holidays, I'm going to start changing my life and I'm going to start doing things differently. And I'm going to start, you know, being the me I always wanted to be. Like that's coming. So this is a great thing for people to really sit back and think, like, what do I love to do? Are there any things that you feel like we didn't cover that you feel like would be like super powerful or pertinent to this conversation that you'd want to add?
I think, yeah. Actually, preach. You got to be selfish at first to kind of get to a point, you know, and then be very selfless and make sure to give back and try to help people get to the same point, you know, because the world needs this. You know, people kind of enslave themselves, and there's a lack of self-love there. And I think whatever we can do, you know, if you make $100,000 a year and somebody's making minimum wage in your house, it might be better off for them to like wash your car, cook and clean, and like, you know, instead of enslaving themselves at some job making minimum wage, you know, to make Target more money or something. Like, why not have them help the family? You know, I mean, it doesn't always work in that dynamic, you know, and I'm not saying that, you know, support your family necessarily, but like, we just need to look out for people more, you know, and if you got it good, or if you know a hack, like I share all of my tips and tricks about thrifting and treasure hunting with everybody I know, and I don't hide it, you know, because I want anybody that can glean any information from that, you know, and you guys are awesome. That's what you're doing, you know, I mean, but I think that's important to give back, you know, super important.
And there's enough out there for all of us.
Exactly.
Like, we don't have to be greedy.
Like hoard it.
No.
Yeah.
We don't have to be greedy. There's more than enough. There's more than enough. And the more we do for each other and the more we're able to be selfless, the more they will be for everyone else.
Exactly. The abundance mindset. Yeah.
So Mike, where can people, if they're like, dude, I love this guy and I want to like connect with you, where can they go? Or what would be the next steps if someone's interested in?
Yeah. So I have an Etsy. It's Mike Made Goods and Treasures. I actually made a discount code for this. So if anybody wants to go, it's a 10% off, and it's Manifest. Just type that in.
Ooh.
That's if you want to check anything out, or you want anything, or you need jewelry repaired or whatever. You can chat in on there with me too. It's all good. You can read my reviews and make sure I'm legitimate. You know, I have an eBay, Mike Made Goods and Treasures also, but I also have an Instagram. And you're welcome to add me on there. I think it's even a public page now. It was private, but I'm trying to kind of work with my marketing there and whatnot. So it's public page now. You're welcome to add me on Facebook, Mike Grace. That could get a little weirder because that is usually just personal people. So maybe message me and make sure we got a reason to connect before,
Right.
But I'm more than happy to give people advice to help. Yeah, I love it. And so
That's what I've had to start to tell people. I'm like, look, if you want professional Jay, he's on LinkedIn. If you want more spicy Jay, Facebook is the place.
Well, see, this guy's that same, no LLC, no. So, the LinkedIn, no way.
I don't think so.
I mean, there might be some account on there from some period in time, but it's not getting looked at and used. And,
It's a million friend requests that you haven't answered.
Yeah. But there we go. That's another way to be unlimited. You should have a LinkedIn. You should have, why not? Why not? But hey, we can't do it all.
Yeah.
And there you go.
So
Don't
true.
beat yourself up about it. Just do it.
So
Yeah.
true. So true. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. This was a great conversation. I always love talking to you.
Anytime.
And, we'll see you on the next episode of The Holistic Life.
Holla.